Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me. I am still Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It is in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me. I am Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. Today, we are discussing a watch launched in 2021 in 150 pieces. This is the IWC Big Pilot's watch, Perpetual calendar, Top Gun, ceratanium. It's a big watch with a big name. This is reference 5036-04. It's made of a titanium that has been ceramized over its surface, and that is the case, the bracelet, and the clasp. So the best of both. It can't fracture the way ceramic can, but it's also scratch resistant the way ceramic is. It's a big watch. 46.2 millimeters in diameter, 15.4 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, 56.1 millimeters with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now, Big Pilot's watches on full bracelets don't come along that often. This is an unusual look, and you will be hard-pressed to find another example that comes with factory bracelet. So this watch has a more massive, more stark, more imposing look on the wrist. It's probably too big for me. While it would sit comfortably, I think visually, especially down the barrel, you can see the lugs right over the edge of my wrist, over the top as well. I think you need a 17 centimeter circumference wrist to wear this watch. That said, with a stepped case flank and a slightly sloped lip to the bezel, it's not as thick as it could be given how much is packed into the case. The bracelet features a conforming end link and then a taper down towards the clasp. You can see every single link is removable, so you're going to get the right size. But in case you don't, this features a little locking rack that allows you to slide back. You have several 1 millimeter increments over about a centimeter of adjustability to fine-tune the fit. You press the logo, then you can slide and adjust. It has a single fold, thick gauge action, twin trigger release, so that it's not going to pop open until you press both triggers. Now, because Big Pilot's watches generally come on straps, I don't endorse swimming with them, even though with a screw-down crown and a 60-meter rated water resistance, they would be suitable for surface swimming and light aquatics. Well, this watch on the full bracelet does away with those concerns of leather and water, so you can absolutely swim with this so long as the enormous diamond-style knurled crown is screwed down. Another fun fact, this watch is secured against accidental explosive decompression of an aircraft cabin. Yes, that means that the crystals and the seals will not be blown out under those circumstances. Hey, the more you know, and luxury is often about getting more than you expect. The dial is matte black with a subdued tactical look designed to evoke the Naval Fighter Weapons School, also known as Top Gun, made famous by the movies of the same name. And this watch references IWC's very real military aviation heritage, while also somewhat co-opting the famous name of an American military aviation training course. Now we have the Perpetual calendar. This is the IWC Kurt Klaus system that was actually designed by Kurt Klaus for IWC in the early 80s with pencil and paper, no less. One of the last truly analog design feats to be performed on a movement this complicated. The module gives you a mechanically programmed sequential system where all you do is use the quick set and everything, day, date, month, moon phase, year, decade, adjusts in sync. And you can adjust it as easily as you would adjust the date on your Rolex Datejust. But it is unidirectional, meaning if you go too far past the current date, you're going to have to stop the watch for a while until time catches up. We have northern and southern hemisphere indicated, and you don't have to look up the moon phase. Just set the correct calendar indications for whatever day you're in, and the moon phase will adjust to you. And in case you plan to keep and use this watch for centuries, it comes with a century slide, so once you've exhausted the centuries that are inside the watch, there are still more available that can be swapped in using that spare part, that far-looking spare part. There's a power reserve indicator coaxial with the date over at 3 o'clock. The watch has an automatic winding 7-day power reserve, so you can see coaxial hands. We have running seconds and the day indicator, and there is a hacking system for the running seconds. And then you can see the watch does actually have applique indices at the quarters. Plus, though it does have a subdued variety of superluminova, It is surprisingly well loomed. That gray variant glows remarkably well. Now, flipping it all over, the movement itself has not been colored, but the sapphire over the reverse has been smoked. This is a 52,000 series IWC automatic. This is part of the largest family. I'm going to get a little bit closer to my light source. This is part of the largest family of automatic calibers in the world, 38.2 millimeters in diameter and purpose-built for big watches. What changed with the twin barrels in the 52,000 series was that we now got twin mainsprings in series with phased torque curves, so it doesn't gain a ton of time when fully wound or lose a ton of time as it runs down. That was always a problem with the single barrel versions of these 7-day automatic movements. Now, not only do you get a skeletonized bridge so you can appreciate the appearance of those barrels, but you get much more consistent timekeeping. We also have an IWC full ceramic pawl and wheel bidirectional Peloton winding system created by famed IWC watchmaker Albert Peloton. It's always been very shock tolerant and durable and efficient, but its main problem in the past was that it would create a dirt on the movement condition. So that has been rectified with the full ceramic pawl and pawl wheel system. Again, a smoked sapphire over the movement. The movement's actually conventional, with the exception of these lovely blued screws that are not universal on the 52,000 series. I'm actually very happy to see that. This is the reference 52615 movement. It beats away at 4 hertz. That's another change of the 52,000 from the 51,000, a higher beat rate going from 3 to 4 hertz. And we have a 5-position adjusted balance free sprung with an overcoil whose centered mass allows it to breathe concentrically in any position and keep better time. There's a panoply of finishes on this movement, mostly applied mechanically, but there is some hand finishing, and everything's very attractive. It's a good-looking movement. There's a rose gold medallion that sits inside the skeletonized winding mass right there. And of course, with the Perpetual calendar, you don't have to touch the system, provided it keeps running, until the year 2100. It can deal with leap years, irregular length months. The moon phase has an even longer duration, as this particular moon phase system is able to roll with the punches and correctly maintain the phase of the moon for over 577 years, which is downright remarkable. Everything about this watch surpasses expectations, right down to its monster 54-jewel manufacture movement. And of course, IWC in the German-speaking part of Switzerland, in Schaffhausen, founded in 1868 by an American who found the French Swiss were not receptive to his American production methods. The German Swiss were excited to get started, and so to this day, IWC, a fully integrated manufacturer in German-speaking Switzerland, and really one of the few in that regard, by far the largest. If you love this watch, reach out to me. I am T. Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.